All right, everybody. This is it. This is a super big day. Okay, we're going to be closing on our very first investment property tomorrow. And I'm very nervous, but very excited. Let me tell you about what's been going on. Hey guys, so I'm Joe from Reconstruction Life. Thanks for joining us here on this channel. This is kind of part of some of the new things that we've been doing around here related to our real estate business. I am transitioning out of the military. I talked about that in a recent video where basically I'm kind of losing my job. So we have to kind of figure out what it is that we're going to be doing for our future. But what we've been doing in that meantime has been putting out videos and doing things like that. Been working on writing some books, some family type things, but I definitely specifically want to be working with my family as much as possible. I considered doing things on the outside, and I just don't really want to work for anybody else. I really just want to work with the people closest to me, the people that I love spending the time with around the most, and developing those relationships and being able to become, to basically create some sort of lasting legacy, both within the family as far as our relationships are concerned, but then also within the family as far as building a business and building financial stability. So what I've been working on here is this investment property, which is super exciting, and I have to tell you about how it all went down. So this is what happened. So my dad called me and he talked to me about some properties that he had been looking at up here. He's in California and I'm up here. So we're starting this financial real estate investment company that is already started. He's doing work down in California. I'm doing work up here in Washington. But he's looking at things and kind of tossing me ideas. As it's gone, he showed me one property they were looking at that was able to get inside and take a look at, and it just had some problems and didn't look all that great as far as the equity wasn't there for us. But there was this other house that is kind of okay. Sorry, that was a call from home. Okay, so all right. So the thing that happened with this Easy Street. So it had a problem. It had a big problem. How it came to our attention is that basically the price had gotten dropped $39,000 on the 7th of December. And the reason why that happened, we found out, is that it has a failed septic system. Now, I don't know anything about bad septic systems or any of that stuff. I know nothing. But, it was incumbent upon me to figure out what basically it takes to rehabilitate this house. So essentially what they said is the county said, this house is going to have to go on city sewer. Now, I don't know what that entails. I didn't know what that entailed at the time, but I knew that it was expensive, which it is very expensive. Okay, so what I did was I basically just started, I talked to the city. I called the city and I found out from them what is required to get this house connected to sewer. They said you have to submit an application to connect to city sewer. I said, great, let me get that information to you. Fill this stuff out and say, I'm just trying to get an estimate, and sent that back to the city. They said, oh, what property is this for? Oh, there's another person that asked about this same property. So I immediately am thinking, okay, great, there's somebody else that is potentially looking at buying this property right now, so we have to move pretty quick to figure out what we need. So they got back to me pretty much, I think, like the next business day. Said they did the scope. This is what they found. Yes, it has to go onto a sewer lateral. There's no lateral on the street or anything. So this is what's going to be required. They sent me the cost for the permit, and then I basically just had to start calling companies in the area that could potentially do that. So I just started calling construction companies and random people that the city basically, the city said that whoever the contractor is has to have right of way. Basically, they have permission to go in to work in a street, because to get into the sewer main, they have to dig 12 feet in the ground to get to the sewer line under a street that's relatively busy. So that kind of helped me a little bit, because then I was able to identify, okay, I need contractors or construction companies that have right of way that can do this massive job, which kind of limited down the number that we could deal with. So I found a couple, and I found some, and I started asking them, hey, what do you know? What is this going to take, and what's work's going to be entailed? I spent a lot of time really talking to the city a lot because I needed to find out as much information as possible. Apparently, understandably, digging 12 feet into the ground is a big deal, and so there's a lot of utility lines, there's water lines, there's all kinds of stuff there, so they want to make sure that it's all done properly. They also have their own codes with respect to grade. The slope of the line has to be at a certain grade, and so in order for them to approve a permit, they needed a lot of specific information. So I had to be worried about the cost from the contractor, I had to be worried about the specific plans that were going to go through, and I had to make sure that the city was going to approve it, the permit. On top of this, we're researching all the other things that need to happen on this property. So things that need to happen are electrical. The electrical, it's not grounded. I found this out, that the house is not grounded, so I need to make sure that it's up to code. It can't have like an open ground because I'm thinking about reselling it. I don't want that to be a problem. So I had to call an electrician, find out what it takes. He told me that there was other issues related to the plumbing because the place where the utilities are is too close to the electrical panel, so the electrical panel is going to have to be moved, which is a huge job, which is another, so that's a big cost. Also, there's a big crack in the foundation. When we close on this house, I'll show you where it is, but it's a massive crack, and I had no idea how to do this, but I had seen some videos online related to foundation about guys had done this really cool stuff called poly leveling, and I don't know if you guys have seen this online, but it is super cool. And so I basically just Googled like poly level contractors and looking for people that can do this work. So I found some, called them up, got them to come out, take a look at the house. They said the poly leveling is for slabs, but the foundation actually is it is a crawl space foundation, so they actually have to get down in to pull the foundation up, which requires push-pull piers. Poly leveling is just for the slab, so I didn't know that, but I found that out. But they were able to do repair for the foundation. That is super expensive also. So the other big thing was the roof. There's a patch in the roof that's just discolored, and there was some sort of water damage, so we have to try to figure out that. The inside of the house really isn't that bad. It's actually pretty nice, other than the fact that it doesn't have sewer, and there's some things that need to get it up to code. But I just had to really call a lot of people and ask a lot of questions and write stuff down and keep being diligent and finding out. The other thing was, it had to happen in a very short period of time, because basically I had to make this assessment: is this going to be able to make us money in a short period of time, based on the cost and based on how much the repairs are going to be. So I needed to get quotes from people like ASAP, as soon as possible. So I was just being as gentlemanly as I could be while telling people that I was under this tight window. This all the while, this whole septic thing is going down. One of the things that came up, I'm basically just trying to do all my due diligence with the sewer line, or the septic sewer line, that's what I mean, to make sure that the permit's going to be approved, that this is the biggest alligator that we have to tackle. One of the things that came up is they said, oh, well, it's on a private well, and I don't, and there may be an issue with the distance from the sewer line to the well that meets up with county health codes. So this was a big thing. I said, okay, well, let me find out how much does it cost to go onto city water on top of the well, or on top of the sewer, and what's required in that. So I'm pursuing two things here. Number one, does it need to go? The sewer thing, I pretty much got locked down. I know how much that's going to cost. But the other thing that's a new one, an unknown, is about this water, which I don't think the seller knows about, whether or not this is a factor that just came to light as I was talking to the city. So I think we already had put in an offer on the house now, and an offer gotten accepted, so we were under contract. But now I had this other thing that I really have to pursue and do my due diligence on to find out, because this could be a breaker if the water thing comes through. I talked to the construction company who was going to handle the sewer for us, asked to get a bid for the city water, sent the information to the city for the request for the permit related to the city water, and that was another like $4,500 permit for the water. It was insanely expensive. And then got the bid from the contractor for how much that work was going to be. Over in total, including abandoning the old well, which has to be done by a certified well abandoning person, I guess, it was like $26,000. Oh, the sewer work was going to be $40,000. basically like $36,000 for the work, and then $4,300 for the permit. So I was in 40 grand for that. If you added the water plus the permits, that was another 26,000. Which is like, oh my gosh, that is so much money. I don't think we have that kind of cushion. So what I really needed to know is I need to find out, is this a thing? Do we definitely have to go on city water, or is the well going to work? So I was back and forth with the county, and wouldn't you know it, it's Christmas season and everyone is trying to take vacation and do that. You know, it's pretty normal, pretty reasonable. I mean, most people want to, get time off around Christmas. And the same thing is true for guys that work in the city and the county. So I was trying to catch guys in a very tight window right before they were leaving. And man, I just have to say, and I mean this sincerely, the people that I talked to over at the county and the people that I talked to at the city were very helpful, very professional, and I think they went above and beyond in helping me, which they didn't have to do, and I was on a tight timeline. So I'm really happy that they're really, really good people. They're really great people. And so I was thankful for that, because they were able to get back to me quickly with the information that I needed. So I'm just really super impressed by that. So the guy that I had to get in touch with regard to the county for the water was the environmental health director for the county. And I basically just had to ask him, is this true that there is a separation requirement? Which was true for the septic system, which is why they had to go on sewer anyway. Is this true also if we go around the well or go by the well? So I got that information back basically at like the 11th hour before we're done. Like, today is our last day for our contingency period, and we're closing tomorrow because this is happening all super fast because the VA wants to get it off their books before the end of the year. And I finally got that information back, conveyed that information to the city, told them this is what the county says with regard to the water, and the city basically just kind of verbal, okay, all right, sounds good. If you get us the plans, what we want, it meets the slope, the specifications, has the elevations on there, all the grade is done by an engineer, the plans are, and your contractor has right away, then you're going to be good to go. The sewer thing will be good, and you can keep your well water. So that's it. That was the last thing that I needed to say we're good to go. We can buy this house. So that's what we're doing, and I'm here at the bank, and that's what I've been doing, and I've never had a check for this much money. This is ridiculous. I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably not, because it doesn't focus, but that is how much money that we have to spend to buy this house. Anyway, that's a lot of money. So I got to take this check down to the title company because we're heading out of town tomorrow. So the closing is all going to happen electronically except for this check, and then that's going to be it. We're going to be the owners of the house on Easy Street, and after the closing is done and next month the calendar turns around, you guys can follow us and find out about how that's going. It's been pretty exciting. So anyway, so that's the deal. That's what's happening on Easy Street. For us, what's happening here, for our family and for the rest of the channel, we're heading down to a pretty cool event down in Vancouver with our good friends the Van Gelders. It's going to be like this big masquerade ball that the kids are super excited about. I'm excited about it. I've never been to anything like that. I think it's going to be fun. So I hope to be able to do a video on that for everybody, but this is going to be the last video of 2017. I'm not making another video. I may try to put out like a compilation to show everybody what's been happening over the past year, but I don't have time for that right now. So maybe that'll come out early 2018. But I'm glad that you guys are there, and I'm glad that you guys are watching, and I hope that that this benefits you, or that you're learning a little bit. It's just kind of fun to be able to share with everybody. I think this is going to be a really exciting season in our life, and this is what we're pursuing, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking it. It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of quick thinking. It requires me getting in contact with a lot of people, managing a project from a lot of angles. So I've got a lot of things that I got to keep going and spinning just with regard to this business opportunity. Things in the family are still going really well. We had a great Christmas. You saw that video. It was really, really good. So things are going well. The Lord is good. He is taking care of us. He is guiding us. He is teaching us, and He is providing for us. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Give me a like if you enjoyed it, and give me a comment down below and let us know. If you just send us a prayer or a word of encouragement, we'd appreciate that as well. All right, guys, appreciate the time here spent with us, and I will talk to you in 2018. All right, bye.